Life is unfair.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to the Cartoon X-Verse podcast. And I'm featured here today with two great cartoon reviewers slash whatever the hell they want to call themselves, Twisted Dan's and Cosmodore. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys introduce yourself. Yeah, go with it.
Well, I would never call myself a great reviewer, but okay. Yes, it's me, Twisted Dance. I make cartoon reviews, but sometimes I talk about live action shows, and then recently I started reviewing video games, even though I don't really play that much. I only review the games I actually care for the most, but for the most part, I review cartoons.
Yo, your turn, Cosmo.
My turn. Hi, I'm Cosmo from Cosmodore. I just started, so I'm trying to figure out what I am, but I guess I'm a cartoon reviewer. I talk about more popular and more obscure shows like German ones, and I'm trying to figure out my niche, guys. It's gonna happen soon.
Do what you believe in.
Jesus Christ.
Well, to be fair, I think the animation realm is already kind of niche.
Yeah, that's true. But it's a different thing talking about more kid-focused shows and talking about like Adult Swim only, or I don't know, like animated bits in live-action shows. That's even more niche than an already niche community, you know.
Because kids are the future.
They are.
What I find weird is when people sort of criticize the community for being small, and I'm like, what? How is being small a flaw? Like
Yeah.
it just means less people. It just means that less people are in the community. Like the only way I could see that as a flaw is if someone wants to enter the community to sort of profit off it. And if that's the case, then yeah, I guess it's kind of a flaw because you have less potential for viewers. But aside from that, I don't really see that as a flaw.
Yeah, and if you want to enter the community in the first place, you shouldn't do it for popularity, but for wanting to be a part of that community with anything, really.
Yeah, I think having it small is a little better because that way you can have kind of a one-on-one with the community, and it seems more special and unique, unlike the video game community. I think we got enough people playing video games on Call of Duty, and you know, what else we got? Skyrim,
Fortnite.
But
Well, to be fair, I think when a community is bigger, it opens up like it's sort of. I just get the feeling that whenever a community is bigger, you witness a variety of sort of inspirations and perspectives, you know. And I can't really speak for the video game community, but for instance, the anime community that's slightly bigger than the cartoon community, I do notice that sort of this sort of variety in the type of people there.
yeah,
So I can see a benefit in the community being bigger, but it's not really something that I think that I don't think that a community being bigger makes it better. I think what makes it better are the people.
Like the
inside.
reaction community is like really big, but do I really want to sit down and watch somebody react to Shrek? And like, yeah, look at that guy, he's watching a movie. That seems like fun. Why don't I just go watch a movie?
I think the fact that we have a community in the first place speaks for itself, because I think vloggers, for example, don't exactly have a community, in that whenever they do a collaboration, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because it's really just a person talking to a camera. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my mind when Tyler Oakley like collabs with Zach Galifianakis, whatever his face is called.
Zach Galifianakis?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
You know, I've always like I never really understood like vlogging. Like, I mean, I get the appeal of vlogging, but I think the only way I would follow a vlogger is if that YouTuber had like something else. Like he was creating another form of art, and then he has a separate vlog channel where you get to meet him a little bit more. But if you dedicate an entire channel, like your entire YouTube persona, to just vlogging, I kind of fail to see the point because like I don't really get the appeal of that.
That's what I
like.
like.
I think a good example. Sorry, I think a good example is Digibro. In one channel he talks about anime, but then he has his After Dark channel where it's more about him, you know. And I do feel like that channel is special because of that. Like it makes you have a deeper connection with him. But when you just have a vlog channel, and you don't have something else on the side that's sort of like the ultimate art form. I don't know. I just kind of don't see the point in the channel, you know.
That's why I still have respect for Game Grumps to this day, because both of them are artists. Egoraptor obviously is a great animator, even though he doesn't really do all that much anymore, and a good voice actor and all that stuff. And we have Danny with an amazing singing talent. They both are talented dudes, and you can tell just by their gameplay, which in and of itself is still also funny. So I have a reason to watch them because I know who they are. I get to know them. I don't see them through the perspective of an heavily edited vlog, but see them for themselves every day. I think that's also why I enjoy Let's Plays a lot more than vlogs, because those are just way over-edited a lot of the time. And when you have guys like Logan Paul or Jake Paul who always travel around the world and doing the craziest stuff, you know that their life isn't really like that, you know. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, I actually completely agree. I do feel like when people like take the opportunity of Let's Plays to sort of like create this friendly environment where you're just hanging out with them, I do think that makes the Let's Play video a lot better and even more effective than vlogs. That actually I do agree.
Yeah, and like another thing that's cool about what we do is we get to kind of, you know, show our personality, and we get to create it with our own, you know, different kind of editing styles, and, you know, just kind of bring attention and entertainment in our own special way, instead of just having some guy sitting in a chair next to a, you know, plain white wall talking about what he did today and how he got bit by a dog walking to school.
Because everyone perceives art in a different way, and it's just very interesting to hear not only different opinions, but also those opinions in presented in different ways. Because if you have like list-based videos, those are totally
so many different ways to do them.
Yeah, those are totally different from just fact-based videos, and those are totally different from reviews and impressions, and there's just a wide variety. And I like the community for being small, because I don't want to sit through thousands of videos on the topic. I like it being sort of niche in that way still.
And another cool thing about our community is I usually learn something new every day by watching someone else's video about a cartoon or about a movie that I didn't even know was true. And I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. And it's just really cool to find out information you didn't know about. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And if you were in the gaming community, for example, most of these facts are just like well known, and it's all known at this point. What is new anymore? You have new Let's Players on the scene every single day, and the same games being played over and over.
Yes, Destiny, Call of Duty, Splatoon. I'm calling you out. Everybody jumping on your bandwagon too, for some odd reason. That is sad.
That is sad.
Splatoon is the meta.
Well, welcome to a rambly mess of a podcast.
Nah, we're going on to the next topic. That's why we got this list.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys know, sometimes we'll make a list or a script when we're doing a video. Unless we just don't give a damn about how the video is going to turn out, and then we'll just talk out of our ass.
Yeah, most of the time we probably won't care.
That would require effort.
It's important to sometimes write a script.
We're not professionals here.
It takes a whole 30 minutes sometimes.
God damn it.
Wow. What a shame.
But YouTube is not about professionalism.
Well,
what are you talking about?
I mean, it probably should be. It probably should be about professionalism, but the appeal of it is that you're watching some guy that it's probably you.
Hey, but we're moving on though to the next topic. Now, what kind of stuff got you both into YouTube? and then I'll maybe say something about why I got into YouTube. You can go first.
Okay.
Twisted Dance. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it. Yeah,
Okay. I'm going to go back to 2011 because that was the first time I got actual, like, sort of mundane access to YouTube, because I think I had my first account I think I created it back in 2010, but I never actually used it. But 2011 was when I began to get a little bit more committed to YouTube. There were several channels I would watch. Most of them had to do with EA Sports FIFA. I don't know if you guys know that game. You probably know. It's very popular.
Yeah.
And I would follow YouTubers that would play that game. And yeah, it was fun. At the time, I was very into soccer. And yeah, I would watch it sometimes. But then in 2012, I began to watch less because my internet access got a little tricky. And I think I only got consistent internet access, but by the time it was 2014. And at that point, I had kind of let go of soccer. I was getting more into movies and television shows. And that's when I began to watch channels like CinemaSins and Screen Junkies. And yeah, I guess they were one of the first inspirations for my channel. Jeremy Johns and Chris Duckman also serve as a huge inspiration. And then in 2015, I created my first reviewing channel. My first ever video was deleted because it really sucks. It was the review of Fast and Furious 7. First of all, my opinions do not hold up, and the video was just terrible. It was exported in 4:3 aspect ratio, but I included pictures that had a 16:9 aspect ratio. So you would see like black borders, even though like when you uploaded a video on YouTube, it had a 4:3 aspect ratio. But even when you would see a picture that had a 16:9, you would still see black borders because of the format of the video. It was terrible. I hated that video. I think my first video you'll see on my channel is the Big Bang Theory season 8 review. That was not my first video. That video also sucks and also doesn't hold up, but I kept it because I think the video is fine enough that I won't be completely ashamed of it. And yeah, over time, I began to take YouTube a little bit more seriously. I think I first started to take YouTube seriously in 2016. 2015 was a bit of a tricky year because I kept having long hiatus, but 2016 was when I began to have a consistent upload schedule. So yeah, ever since then, I began to upload until now.
Nice.
All right, Cosmo, it's your turn. See what you got.
Well, I think my first channel was in like 2010 or so, where I would dance along and sing along to Witch Doctor's Ooh Ee Ooh Ah Ah, which is not a joke and was very popular in my school back in the day. I won't show that video to anyone, also because I don't have the file anymore, but I wish I did because that was fun. That was sort of my first experience with YouTube back when I watched a lot of crappy German comedy attempt channels.
Would it put the Numa video to shame?
I think so.
There you go. That's all that matters. You beat that.
I should have uploaded it in like with English tags and stuff, so I would have gotten international recognition at the age of 10. That would have been fun. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, then I sort of dabbled in Let's Plays and stuff, and stopped making videos in 2014, and vowed never to upload anything again.
Those Let's Plays channels are tough to make, man.
Yeah,
they're tough.
They take a lot of your time, and
They really do.
I just didn't have that anymore, and tried to focus on school and that sort of stuff. I was still watching videos, mainly cartoon reviews and like movie reviews and all that stuff. CinemaSins, Nostalgia Critic, JonTron, all those guys, and started thinking to myself, what if I started again? I enjoy singing, I enjoy voice acting. Why don't I take a slash at that again. And here we are, where I uploaded my first video, I think 3 or 4 months ago. I don't remember exactly. It's only been so long, but I still think that this video already doesn't hold up. Because I just didn't take that film I was reviewing all too seriously, because it was a bad movie, but I also knew that no one else was talking about it on YouTube. So I didn't pay that much attention to what was going actually on in the movie, and mainly focused on just making fun of it.
For your first review?
Yeah, my first review.
I got you.
It wasn't a review per
Everybody's
se.
first review kind of usually is not like, oh yeah, look what I've made. Like, nah, it's like, I made this.
Yeah, no, it's more of a JonTron or I Hate Everything inspired video, which I am not too fond of right now, but it's not a bad video. I will keep it up as the first video. And
I got you.
yeah.
Is that all for you for kind of what got you into it? You like to entertain people and, you know, just thought it'd be kind of fun, and you got inspired by JonTron and I Hate Everything? Kind of. Yeah.
That's a good reason.
Give or take. All right, I'm going to keep it kind of short because we got a lot of topics on this piece of paper maybe in front of me. Basically, what got me into YouTube, I started doing AMVs back in like 2009. I did that all the way to January of 2016, I believe. You can't quote me on that, but something around that time. I kind of got tired of making AMVs. 7 years, you know, it's been enough. I was a big fan of JonTron, like Cosmodore said. Yeah, he's a legend. He's hilarious, funny as hell. Always enjoyed watching him. There's a guy named Quentin Reviews. Always loved his content. He was always just very blunt and just tell it like it is. And he made stuff that wasn't supposed to be interesting, entertaining to watch. And I was like, hey, I want to do that too. I want to talk about animated stuff, cartoons, whatever kind of interests me at the time, and see if I can turn it into like a entertain kind of video, and see if I can, you know, make some people entertain and have fun with it. And that's pretty much where I am today.
And I think it all worked out.
Yeah, I'm always trying to improve. I'm a tough critic on myself, because I always know that if you're watching a video, you should be entertained, and it should feel like a fun ride, and you shouldn't feel like you were forced on it. I try to do at least one video a week. If it's 2, that's cool. If it's 1, that's
yeah, I do also try to do that, but before, my mindset was upload every Saturday. What? I think it was either a Sunday or Saturday. I think it was Sunday.
I initially wanted to upload every Monday, so it was every Cos Monday, which I still think is a good idea, but I wouldn't be very consistent in it, because I like uploading multiple times a week when I deem a topic more worthy of talking about than the other, and then the other video gets pushed back a while, and I don't like being constricted to 1 day a week.
Nah, stuff comes up. He might have a passion for something he really likes on Thursday, and he's going to feel like getting all that information out on Thursday, and bam, we're going to have the video maybe on Friday.
You know, I already had 2 scrapped videos or so, which I didn't want to upload at that specific time, and at the time I wanted to upload it again, it was outdated. I didn't feel like uploading it anymore.
Like just yesterday, I got a big passion on making a video on Kablam from Nickelodeon.
What is that?
And if that's a show probably nobody knows about, so nobody can say I ripped off anybody. But it's a show based off of Nickelodeon. It was like Mad TV back in the day, or Liquid Television, or Robot Chicken, kind of for Nickelodeon. This was the Robot Chicken guys, but full Robot Chicken in Nickelodeon style, with a comic book twist to it.
Well,
now you've made me want to watch that video.
Stay tuned to that. And guess what? I'll be the first. For the next topic, what kind of stuff do you guys look for when you're watching a video? What's important to you? What do you look for?
What about you, Dan?
For me, it's simple. For me, it's simple. It's personality. I do value the YouTuber's personality a lot more than what topic he's covering. I mean, sure, like, the topic of the video is obviously going to be the thing that attracts me. I mean, if I don't know a YouTuber, then I'll probably, like, if I find a YouTube channel, it's probably not going to be because of his personality. It's going to be because of the video, the topic he's covering. But over time, for me, it should matter less. I think what should be more important at the end of the day is the YouTuber himself and not the stuff he covers, you know.
Dan's saying the topic brings them into it, but the personality will keep them staying around.
Yeah, I mean, sure, there are certain subjects that are associated to that YouTuber that probably increases the appeal. And for instance, there are certain YouTubers I probably wouldn't like if they started talking about something that's not really related to the type of content they make. Yeah. But besides that, I do think that personality is a lot more important. Sometimes I can excuse editing as long as the content creator is entertaining himself.
But I got something funny, Cosmo. There's a YouTuber that I watch, and his videos, he just blows up cars. For every video, he just blows up shit. And he's a ugly ass mother trucker. But I watch his videos because I just like to watch stuff get blown up. That's just a topic.
That's a good reason.
The guy's like, whatever. He's not very, I'm not fond of him. He just look cool. You do you. Blow that shit up.
Yeah. I think personality is also very important to me, but it isn't the most important aspect because there are instances where I watch the video and agree with some of the points the person has brought up, even though I initially didn't agree with some of the things he may have said in the past. With Mr. Enter, for example, it's always a double-edged sword for me because I agree with some of the stuff he says, but it's not always the case. It's like 60% of the time I agree with him. But that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy his content because it's still justified criticism. It's still presented in an interesting way. And I think what's more important to me is that the way you want to convey your topic is either structured well, or if you're doing something original and presenting it in a new way, that it's refreshing and doesn't fail at bringing your point across. I think that's more important to me.
To be fair, like there are certain types of videos, like reviews, for instance, where the way you present and formulate your opinions do like matter a lot. So on that, I do agree. But of course, there are some channels that are not really trying to be like argumentative or concise, I would say. They're more like trying to be silly. And, as long as the silliness works, then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess for me is as long as they're trying to be pretty, if I see some effort and I see they have passion for it, I'll try to stick around with them for their videos because I know over time it's going to work out for them and it's going to probably get better and better. It's going to gradually grow over time.
As long as there's passion involved and you can tell, then it is going to be at least watchable. There's always room for improvement, but it's at least if it's at least a video that makes me want to stick around with the channel, I think most of the work is already done.
Now, I don't really get too mad at their editing because I don't know what they might be editing on. They might be editing on a terrible MacBook that has a crappy mouse, or maybe they can't work their mouse pad correctly very good, or maybe they just damn lazy. But hey, if they got that passion, they got a chance.
Or maybe they're doing it on purpose. Like I heard that Sean Head makes her videos sound kind of cheap on purpose. So
who does that?
Yeah, apparently that Sean Head.
Ugh.
I haven't heard of him, but okay.
She's this YouTuber who talks about politics and stuff.
Going on to the next topic. Now, this is a little halftime break kind of topic. What is your favorite cereal?
That's tough.
Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs. For sure.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see you got that Black Panther cereal. I'm chilling with that. All right.
What is that one like? Is it like a Nesquik cereal type of deal, black and white?
Yeah. That peanut butter.
Oh.
Peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I like cornflakes.
Ah, no joke required for cornflakes.
Going with the classics.
And I guess for my favorite cereal, it would be Frosted Flakes. Oh, with the marshmallows. Frosted Flakes with the marshmallows. You put some milk in there. Oh, it's just a banging good freaking cereal. A hell of a time. And if I don't have that, I'll have some Eggos with maple syrup.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you buy, like, chocolate-flavored cereal, do you add, like, sort of, like, chocolate powder to the milk?
No.
Only if I'm trying to have a stroke.
No. Well, because I do that. I do that all the time.
Really?
And I think I shouldn't do that, but I do it, anyway.
I'm just surprised at the fact that you didn't die because of it yet.
That's like those people that sprinkle all that cheese on top of their cheesy pizza or cheesy spaghetti. It's like, oh, I gotta have more cheese on my cheese pizza. Well, oh my God, chill out, man. You're gonna have a stroke. All right, for the next topic, what cartoon characters, this can be any characters from cartoons, that are annoying to you and get on your nerves? Characters that you
my God.
Beast Boy. Beast Boy.
Wait, hold on. Which Beast Boy?
The new Beast Boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
These are the characters you just want to pull a Glock out and just shoot them in the face sideways.
I wouldn't go so far, but if I had the chance to scratch him out of the show completely, I'd totally do it.
That Glock will be coming around the mountain.
Okay, I have two characters.
Right,
one is a character I do actually hate, and is probably my least favorite. But one is a character I don't really hate that much, but I hate that he's present in one of my favorite shows ever. I'm going to talk about the first one because I think I've talked about her before. It's Sarah from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Okay.
I cannot stand her.
It's pretty understandable.
Like, I hate how she treats Ed. I hate how she seems... I hate how much of a brat she is, despite the fact that Ed literally does nothing wrong. Like, yeah, sometimes he makes stupid decisions, but, you can tell that it was from a place of niceness. Like Ed never really Ed has never shown to have like a cold heart, and I don't really get why she has so much hostility towards him. Like, I've never really seen this level of sibling rivalry, and it's funny because Ed doesn't even see her as a rivalry. Like, he loves her, but she just despises him and treats him like crap. And that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Danny Antonucci just wanted to make that character that everybody could hate all together.
And it bothers me even more that she doesn't receive repercussion. Like, I keep hearing people say that Ed, Edd n Eddy, like, it works because the characters are always punished, and I don't agree. And I think Sarah is a good example.
There was one episode where Ed actually screamed back at her, and he was like, he's like, you need to shut the hell up.
Yeah, people keep bringing up that episode, but it was just one episode. And I guess there was also that one time they babysat her, but aside from those episodes, like, she would always win, like, in every episode, and that was always infuriating. I absolutely despise her character. The other character, I don't really hate him, at least not as much as before, but he still does annoy me, and it's Erwin from Billy and Mandy. Like, I don't know, I just find him to be really annoying. I don't really see any point in his presence. He's a very generic best friend. Like, I don't even understand why he's Billy's best friend. Like, I've never really seen him prove that he, like, has, like, a fun and interesting chemistry with Billy. Like, he's just kind of around. And it's just really annoying. Like, I hate his dialogue. Like, he always ends his sentence by saying "yo," and I don't know.
Hey yo.
Like, he's by far my least favorite character in Billy and Mandy.
Yo, trainer. Some characters that are annoying to me. Sarah from Ed, Edd n Eddy, because that bitch gonna get slapped one day. She's gonna get ran over by somebody, maybe Eddie's brother if he's still alive. Another character that I hate would be what's that? Who would it be? A character that I hate. Oh, the Cheese from Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends.
Hey, no. Cheese is awesome.
Cheese was annoying.
Cheese is awesome.
He was a whiny.
You should shut up. You know nothing about cartoons.
I couldn't stand that dude.
Well, that's it for the Cartoon Experts podcast. The hosts have officially disbanded.
Oh, and I got one.
But hold on. Like, I actually want to know why you don't like. Like, what's your beef with Cheese?
Now, another character that I don't like, but I understand why he's in the show, is Randall from Recess.
Yes, that's who I meant, not Wendell.
I don't like. Yeah, I don't like that dude, but I know we're supposed to hate him anyways. He's part of the show for a reason.
Yeah.
But at least he's there for a reason. Unlike Irwin, he's there for no reason. Randall's there for a reason. Sadly. Oh, and King Bob's a pompous know-it-all bitch, and someone needs to throw him off his high horse.
Oh, there's another one I just thought of. Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony, which I know is supposed to be too energetic for you to take, but I can't stand her.
She got a lot of people say she got better as the season or as the show went on. Is that true?
No.
All right, well they lied. They were just trying to be nice. Oh,
I mean, she got more personality, but that doesn't make her as a character better as a character, because she's still as annoying as ever. And even though there was a person I met a few months ago, which I didn't really know much about. I didn't get much of his backstory, but then he told me that he went through some stuff over the years, and then I was like, yeah, that doesn't justify your bad personality, though. It's one way to cope with that bad past, but that doesn't mean that we are going to connect just because that I know that about you. That's how I feel about Pinkie Pie.
I don't know. I think that really depends. Like, I think offering like a reason for why a character behaves that way can make you sympathize with him a little bit more, especially if it's something that you can tell that it's very personal, that's pretty much embedded in his personality.
Yeah,
I think that can help, but I will admit that sometimes it doesn't help. And I think a good reason is... not a good reason. A good example is Amethyst. There was one episode that made me hate her, temporarily at least, and it was the one where she transformed into Rose just to mess with Greg. And I don't know, even though I understand why she did that, that was still very... that was a very douchey thing for her to do, and it made me angry at her for so long. Eventually I moved past that, but still, that was pretty cool.
That was just a bad episode overall.
Steam Universe, though, that's a topic for another day. It's a can of worms. We're going to open up on somebody. But the last character that sucks, and I think we can all agree probably, Big Bob from Hey Arnold. That dude was a pompous windbag bitch, and he reminded me of my dad because he kind of looks just like him. He acted just like him. And there's just too many similarities going on at the same time.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, Big Balls Boopus. All right, the next topic we got, things that Teen Titans Go does well.
Oh, okay. Well, first off, I have some things about that show, because many seem to don't like the show's comedy, which I'll admit is a very bad thing to be the case in a comedy show, in a show that's literally only focused on comedy. And while I think that it does rely on silly jokes a bit too much and can get a bit cringy because of that, I don't think it's necessarily unfunny. It can have funny lines and stuff, and it's due to that still enjoyable to watch. And I also think that the animation isn't terrible. I think, while it looks cheap and obviously made with the least amount of possible effort, it doesn't look as terrible as people make it out to be. So I don't have gripes in that
Could have been a
regard.
lot worse.
Yeah.
Vibrant colors. The colors aren't like dull and a bunch of browns and oranges.
Exactly. It's
Well,
it's pleasant to look at still.
My main issue with the
we found it.
animation in Teen Titans Go is the background art. I think it looks really cheap, and
But you're not supposed to notice that part.
Yeah.
No.
like for starters, they do recycle a lot of background.
Oh man.
And like because a lot of episodes do take place in the same setting, so you keep seeing the same backgrounds. But even when you start to analyze those backgrounds, especially in the outside, like they're cheaply drawn. But sorry, we're supposed to say positive things about Teen Titans Go, so I'm sorry.
8-year-old say finding these flaws and those.
I like the character designs. I think not only do I think the cheaper designs work pretty well with the tone, but I also think the designs look visually appealing. Like there are some characters that look kind of cute. Like I like Tara. She has a pretty cute design.
Give me a percentage of how much of the characters look good in their chibi designs. A percentage out of all the characters you've seen. 90%?
Who has the best design?
No, like 90%. Is there that 10%? It's like, ew, what the fuck is that?
20% look unpresentable. I still can't get over Cyborg's design for some reason. Yeah, but the rest is just fine. No, it's nothing special, but for the chibi look they went for, I think it looks just fine, just alright. It's just a pretty meh show. It's not a terrible show. It's just not a show I like to watch because it's just so.
They do have some good episodes every now and then.
Yeah.
One out of 13, maybe. I'll give it that.
I don't know, like I really don't think that Teen Titans Go is a show worth putting up with it. Because what you guys saying is actually true. Like, there are some good episodes there, but you also have to go through a lot of, I wouldn't say bad, like, terrible episodes. I mean, some are, but most of them are just kind of, like, dumb, not really worth putting up with. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of that in Teen Titans Go.
For any of you Teen Titans Go fans out there, I found 3 decent episodes. And no, I'm not going to take 40 or 20, because obviously I ripped that idea off of somebody else. Nah, 10101, or what's it called? Ones and Zeros. That was a pretty good episode.
That's a very good episode.
Yeah, Ones and Zeros. They did like some Star Wars parodies in that, I believe. Yeah. Girls' Night Out was a pretty good episode.
Which one was that?
That was the one where the boys were doing their boys' night out thing, and then the girls do their girls' night out thing, and they get Jinx out of jail, and they all go to a carnival, and they cause a bunch of chaos and stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I like the one.
And my last
that
one.
Was I like it. I think it was the second. I think it was the second episode of Teen Titans Go. It was the one that was Cyborg's birthday, and Beast Boy. I think he couldn't afford to buy a present that Cyborg really wanted. I thought that was a good episode.
That was the second episode.
He had to get a job.
I think it was. Like, I remember being the second episode.
Wow, I remember watching that on a plane and thinking to myself, wow, the quality has really gotten downhill. Okay.
Another respectable episode is when they do the Justice Hall episodes. The part 1 and part 2. Where they go into the Justice Hall and they dress up in like different superhero costumes.
Isn't that the plot of that movie?
Probably. I hope it does decent-ish. Who knows? But they we can't have too much faith. I gotta put all my Christian faith into that Teen Titans.
Am I the only one who noticed a rise of Teen Titans Go fans being a lot more open over the past year? Like before, whenever you would hear people talk about Teen Titans Go, it was always negatively, but ever since 2017, like people are a bit more open about some of the good things the show does, which is kind of funny.
I can tell you why, because they realize that they are going to have to put up with the show for much longer now, as Cartoon Network has realized how much they can still milk out of the show, and still they kind of gotten used to it, I think. So they try to find the best in a not very good show, so that it doesn't seem as terrible as it may be.
Although a better solution would just be to skip Teen Titans Go. I think it's better. I used to be someone who was against the don't watch argument. And while there are some scenarios where I do think that argument is dumb, but I do think that from a grander scheme, like, it's probably best if you just don't watch something you don't like,
But I wanted a challenge. I was trying to find some good things about a show that stank donkey ass, and I wanted to be positive.
Yeah.
It was so hard. I about cried watching the damn episodes. It was so terrible. But I pushed through it, guys, because I wanted to not be like stuff with Scoutfly and actually watch the footage that I'm talking about. All right,
he's called Sweeswoos now.
I can't pronounce his stupid new name.
It's the Sweeswoos.
Swiggity boo 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 fat.
I mean, his previous YouTube name was also kind of stupid, but this one is even stupider.
Yeah. Did you know he had a first rebranding right before Sweeswoos? He used to be called Just in Time.
Yeah, I remember. I actually I remember the video he uploaded promoting that new channel. I checked on it and nothing was uploaded. Nope. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I forgot about it. And then he uploaded that really bad video where he was just kind of trash talking YouTubers as a whole. And when I saw that video, I thought, like, do you really watch YouTube that much?
Yeah.
Like, he was making overgeneralizations, but whatever. I don't really
There we go.
About that.
When we hear the sound of the bird, that means the time for the next topic. Caw-caw! Caw-caw! That bird about to die. But that does mean it's time for the next topic. We're just going to list 5 shows. All right, let's play a game. Think about your 5 favorite cartoon shows from the 1990s. And let's just list what are those 5 shows that come to your, that you want to say out loud.
Okay.
And whoever wants to go first can go first.
I have one question.
And then I'll just copy the list.
Is it okay to count shows that started airing in 99?
Yes, that counts.
Yes?
Yep, it's legit. That's legit.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah, I do have 5 shows. All of them are for Cartoon Network, of course.
Yeah, because that was it was supposed to be from Cartoon Network. So,
yeah.
Favorite Cartoon Network shows from 1990s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best one is the Powerpuff Girls, for me personally, of course.
All right. What you got?
Second, Dexter's Laboratory.
All right.
Third, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
All right.
Fourth, Ed, Ed, Eddie, probably. I think I would go with Ed, Ed, Eddie. As for fifth, I don't know. What other show aired at the time? I'm gonna have to pass the question to you guys.
I Am Weasel? I don't know.
No. I was never really that into those cards. I was never really into Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel.
Yeah.
Even when I was a kid, I thought they were kind of mediocre.
They are too random for my taste. Yeah. I think my number 1 pick would probably be like Johnny Bravo.
Oh yeah, Johnny Bravo aired in the 90s. Yeah, Johnny Bravo would probably take the 5th spot. Or 4th, I don't know.
That's a sweet spot. I think I would put the Powerpuff Girls at number 2. It sucks that I can't include Nickelodeon shows because most of my 90s picks would have been Nickelodeon shows.
Hey, but maybe that will be on the next podcast.
My number 3 would be Dexter's Lab. Number 4 would be Courage.
Right.
Number 5, I'm indifferent. Did Duckman air on Cartoon Network too? No, it didn't.
Wasn't that an adult cartoon?
Yeah, it was. I think it aired on Cartoon Network once, or at least Adult Swim, but I'm not sure about that. When was Foster again? Was it 2000s?
2003.
I'm looking at
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Okay. I
Okay,
always get the dates for these shows wrong, so I think I need to look up which ones aired in the 90s again. Because I'm not a 90s kid, guys.
It seems like
yeah, I'm not a
7
'90s
choices.
kid either.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I know
That's-
some people who were born in the 2000s but call themselves '90s kid, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's so weird. I never got that. Why would you pretend like you're something you're not? You can be one of those. I was born in the wrong
yeah. I
generation
mean,
kids.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
mind it.
I was
like
born
their
whenever I
their
wanted to be.
their justification is that even though they grew up in the 2000s, they watch '90s cartoons, but that's not really an excuse. Like I'm sure there are plenty of people who were born in the '90s and watch a lot of '80s cartoons, but they're not gonna call themselves '80s kids.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I'll just put Ed and Eddie at number 5. Whatever. I'm not that big of an Ed and Eddie guy, you know.
All right, here's my 5 shows. I got Ed, Edd n Eddy. I got the Powerpuff Girls. I got Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm gonna take Johnny Bravo, and then for my 5th, SWAT Cats: The Radical Squadron, because that aired on Cartoon
Oh,
Network.
damn!
Woo,
I always wanted to watch that cartoon.
Obscurity, baby. Now here we go.
Oh, guys, we forgot about Pinky.
Who?
Pinky and
Panther?
the Brain.
Oh, was that on Cartoon?
I think it was on Kids WB, but
Okay.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I think there was a phase where Cartoon Network was airing a lot of Kids WB.
Yeah, like
shows, so
Animaniacs
it-
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
possible that it aired there, but
We'll take
I
that
wouldn't
answer.
tell.
I see.
We'll take that answer though, because that's pretty sure no one really talks about a lot. All right, Cosmo, what do you think about the THQ remakes on the Nickelodeon games?
I'm pumped.
Pretty pumped. Man, which games would you be pumped for the most?
Definitely Battle for Bikini Bottom, seeing as it's one of my favorite games of all time. Maybe my favorite game of all time, and basically all the SpongeBob games, you know.
That was
I
pretty
really,
good, though.
I always wanted to play Attack and the Power of Juju, so I'm excited for that too. I like that one Rocket Power game. I'm surprised.
Oh.
I would be surprised if they remake that one, seeing as how Rocket Power barely gets any recognition anymore. Rightfully so.
Out of 1 out of 10, what kind of score would you give SquarePantis Atlantis, the video game, or Battle for what the hell is that game called?
Which version?
Let's go with the GameCube version.
2 out of 10.
There you go. I was thinking 1 out of 10, so it's getting a 1.5.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
pretty
fa-
respectable.
I'm getting
That game
I'm
sucked.
more
I
chill
hate that
than I
game.
usually am
That game-
today.
That game stank.
Yeah.
About made people hate SpongeBob. Okay, now I'm a big fan of the Spanish heritage-based shows. What are some of you guys' favorite Spanish heritage-based shows for cartoons or animated TV shows?
Well, for
Yeah, I
me,
can name-
so far,
name a few.
Legend Quest.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
show. The only Netflix cartoon that I actually like. Not to say that there are bad ones. I'm just out of the ones I saw. So I mean I've heard Voltron and Troll Hunters are good shows. I mean I've heard mixed opinions on Troll Hunters, but you know, Phantom Strider says it's good, so it's probably good. Anyway, I like Legend Quest. I think I made a review on that show, which is funny because a couple of months later, the showrunner for Legend Quest actually liked one of my tweets where I said that Legend Quest was dank, and then he liked the tweet. Even it's just weird because I don't think I put any hashtags, so I don't know how he found that tweet. And then he watched my video and replied to that tweet saying, "Hey, I watched your video." And then he clarified one criticism I had on the show. And then he said, "Yeah, it was a fine review. I didn't agree on everything you said, but I'll take your criticism to heart." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." Like I was very happy. Like that made me respect him a lot more. And I even said that I have massive respect for his show. And and he's all like, "Yeah, thanks. I'm glad that our fans are happy." And I'm like, "Oh, this was a fun interaction."
Then do you want to hear something funny, Dan?
Yeah.
The creator of the show also contacted me due to a tweet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude loves everybody.
I think he is just very protective of his show, which I definitely respect him for, but it's kind of creepy when you just tweet about a show without any hashtag or anything, and then he comes forward saying, yeah, thanks for the tweet.
Yeah, and something very similar to that happened to Nintendo last year. It was around the time Unikitty wasn't. I think it only released a promotional picture, and one of the characters was dabbing, and
Oh God.
Nintendo made fun of that picture, and one of the writers said that that wasn't an official promotional picture; it was actually fan art, and then they they ended up like in a mildly long debate on whether or not that picture was official, because Nintendo said that he found that picture in somewhere that heavily implied that it was official, but the writer said that it was a fan art among the writers there. So I don't know. Believe whatever you want to believe.
It could
But
be a kind of Gravity Falls McGucket situation where they just threw off the audience with a fake picture.
yeah, probably. I don't know. I might have to revisit that little scene there. You know, I want to confirm stuff because I might be misremembering some stuff. So don't take everything I say to value because I might be misremembering some things. But that's what I do remember. I do remember one of the writers saying that that wasn't an official promotional picture and it was actually fan art.
Yeah. But to come back to Legend Quest, because I think that show was also pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of it. I thought that the pacing was a bit off, but it's definitely one of the better Spanish shows. Another one, if you want to consider it Spanish, it's really Mexican, but I also like El Tigre. And
we'll count that.
okay, then we also have the
Spanish
language shows.
What's the word? Spanish, not Latino, but kind of, yeah.
Okay.
That vibe, yeah.
Then we also have the preschool show Pocoyo, which I know sounds weird now, but it's actually really funny. I watched it a lot with my little brother. He used to be into it a lot, and it's surprisingly good for a preschool show. You can check it out on YouTube for free, because I think at least the duck and the elephant characters are tons of fun. It's without any dialogue, so it doesn't need any translation or anything. The theme song is pretty good, and it's only in front of a white background, so pretty low effort stuff. But yeah, it's entertaining. It's a good kids show.
Is it like claymation or 2D or?
No, it's animation, but it's made to look like claymation. It's made to look like very not so cartoony, but CGI, very model-y. Yeah, it has that clayish feel to it, you know? Look at pictures and you know what I mean.
Spanish/Hispanic kind of vibe shows created. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Legend Quest is also getting a season 2. Although I really do hope they don't mishandle the tone, because I had really I did not like the way they incorporated comedy in the last few episodes. I thought they were very infuriating and annoying, and I don't know, I just kind of wish they would take those last few episodes a little bit more seriously.
Another Book of Life was a great movie as well.
Oh yeah.
And I ain't gonna count no Ferdinand, that John Cena bull movie. It was something else.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if it involves John Cena, we're not counting that, no.
John Cena plays the voice of a animated bull that wants to be a dancer or something like that.
Oh,
he doesn't want to be a fighter. He just wants to be a dancer.
Oh no, isn't that the song of Sing? The plot of Sing?
That's the plot of that freaking Kung Fu Panda movie ripoff, the little panda fighter.
Oh god. Oh no!
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Lego Movie.
Oh no!
I don't know if you guys ever noticed that the Lego Movie has very similar themes to the first Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people keep don't get me wrong. I love the Lego Movie. It's my favorite animated movie of all time. But I always get I always feel kind of baffled whenever people say that the Lego Movie is like clever with the direction it took. I'm like, Kung Fu Panda did the exact same thing. Like the one not existing. Kung Fu Panda was literally about that, where it was about you taking your own direction. Whatever.
If you think about it, Wreck-It Ralph, Kung Fu Panda, the Emoji Movie, all have the same premise. On the surface level, it's basically all the same, which isn't bad. They do different things with it, but it's a very popular theme to have this. I am bestowed upon this one responsibility, but I really want to be something else, and so I have to embark on this grand quest to find out who I really am. It's a good premise, but it's not original anymore at this point.
Yeah, recycling plot lines, direction, structure, and even animation style is one of the reasons why I'm beginning to abandon animated features, because I just kind of feel like they're becoming way too formulaic for me to enjoy myself.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Coco, but after watching Your Movie Sucks review, I completely believe in him. Like, I really do believe that I would feel the exact same way if I watched Coco.
Mm-hmm.
I just found out that Peppa Pig was actually Spanish made. Huh.
What is that? Peppa the Pig? Peppa Pig?
Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
Peppa Pig is based out of Spanish heritage culture.
Yeah, I know.
And stuff.
But
I did not know that.
That doesn't.
Well, that's a good.
It's fine because I always confuse Peppa Pig with Happy Wheels.
What?
I don't know why, but I always confuse them.
Oh yeah, I have to give it a shout out to Villainous because Dan loves that show. There's another good.
Excuse me.
There's another good Spanish heritage show for everybody to watch. Spanish.
I don't know if that cartoon is based on Spanish or Mexican culture. I think it's just produced in Mexico.
We're gonna give a shout out to Dora the Explorer, the OG of Spanish animation. All right, moving on to the next topic.
You want to know a little fun fact before we're moving on? We actually have Dora the Explorer in Germany, but since nobody cares about Spanish here anyway, we just have it in German and make her learn English instead.
That hurts my heart.
Yeah. Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Diego, but yeah.
Go, Diego, go. Now, for this segment of the show, we would like to be doing some cartoon impressions of our, just random cartoon characters that we can think of off the top of our heads. Does anybody got any cartoon character impressions they want to do? I got some.
No.
I got some. No.
Just start, Corey. We'll move along as we go.
Hey, Fred! I saw your wife, Wilma.
I will link.
Give me some fruit
I'll share a link to a quote-unquote voice actor on YouTube that did really good impersonation of Cartoon Network characters. I think it was to celebrate the 25th anniversary. And I don't know, I thought his impressions were pretty good.
Okay.
Billy, I am the Grim Reaper.
I don't think that's how he sounds.
Nah, maybe if he had a sore throat. I don't know. Okay, here's another, question people were kind of curious about. Did you guys have any favorite cartoon parodies found on the internet that you would like to share with the people watching this?
There's this great My Little Pony parody series like Shad.Morph, Band.Morph. I don't remember what they were called, but they confused the hell out of me when I first saw them as a kid, because I assumed that was what the show's actually like, even though it's just a very well-made parody. It mimics the style of the show perfectly.
Was it made by Hot Diggity Demon or something? Or
I think so. No, not Hot Diggity Demon, but someone of that same animation realm. Yeah, it is Hot Diggity Demon. Wow, I didn't know that.
There you go.
Okay, I don't watch Hot Diggity Demon, and I think he's the only YouTuber I can trust that will offer good cartoon parodies, because every time I watched a cartoon parody on YouTube, I always get the impression that the people parodying it are not like they're not like what I would call experts on those cartoons. Like they don't really offer like a clever parody of it. It's just kind of like very superficial. And I think a good example of that is when Ryan Higa made a parody of the Pop-Up Girls. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like that parody was very superficial. Like the stuff it was making fun of are stuff that you would obviously make fun of if you had just like if you're mildly familiar with the show and you know like some of the basic elements of it. I just never really see something like very clever and specific where you can tell that the person parodying it is a massive fan of the cartoon. And I mean, these like basic parodies, they can be fine, they can be enjoyable, but I don't know. I don't really find them to be that appealing.
But that's the case with most parodies on YouTube. If you look at channels like Dorkly, which only really look at the surface level of a video game and don't really go beyond that, only with the concept of Mario being a plumber, her having to save Peach, and Pokemon being a thing that exists.
Yeah. And the reason why I said that Hot Diggity Demon is the only YouTuber I can trust that will offer somewhat clever is because I know that he's a fan of cartoons. At least I've heard that he's a fan of cartoons, so I trust him. But everyone else I don't really trust. But if I had to pick a cartoon parody that I actually like, is this weird parody of Family Guy that I saw a couple of months ago where it's just Peter and Lois saying, "Hey Lois, oh Peter, hey Lois, oh Peter," and it's just like that throughout the whole video.
Oh, I found it. It's by Riga Marowil.
And it's really surreal and weird, but I really like it.
I will definitely be leaving the links to these parodies in the description. Because that nigga Higa one was pretty funny, even though it was kind of stupid. But you get a good laugh out of it the first time you see it.
I'm on a tie rope.
Peter. Hey, Peter.
That's great. I'm gonna watch the rest later.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Here we go. All right, for the next topic, what is some good animation shows that you enjoy on Netflix? Because a lot of kids don't got $160 to spend for a DirecTV or a satellite dish. So all they got is Netflix and that Hulu thing, you know. That's an option.
I am not into Netflix library, especially in the realm of animation.
Are you a Hulu person, Dan?
I don't have Hulu.
Because they got Dan Versus on Hulu. I figured, you know.
I wish I had Hulu. I would pay for Hulu, but it's not available in my country. So
Dan trying to support his people. Dan Versus.
Well, I don't know what Netflix is like for you guys, but here we at least have all the Disney animated movies and a bunch of anime. Right. But most of the original Netflix animated shows aren't even available here. So it isn't too big of an issue, but we do have BoJack Horseman, we do have Big Mouth, which I personally didn't mind. I found it to be at least somewhat entertaining. We have Voltron, which I enjoy, so it isn't bad. It isn't a bad lineup.
What three shows would you say people should probably check out from Netflix if they haven't?
Let's talk fully animated shows, because if we were to only include cartoons, that's going to be very hard. I like BoJack Horseman. You should totally watch all of BoJack Horseman if you haven't. Little Witch Academia.
5 seasons.
And
Little Witch.
And Voltron, I'd say.
I feel the same way. With the only exception of BoJack Horseman and Voltron, because I haven't seen them, but everything else I agree. But you know, I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound very petty and nitpicky. But you mentioned how Netflix has a couple of Japanese cartoons, and some of them are actually ones I've seen and I actually like it. But the funny thing is, since I live in Portugal, the subtitles are in Portuguese, and they don't have English subtitles available. Wait. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not ashamed of my Portuguese language, like I don't have any beef with it, but when it comes to watching movies and television shows, like I'm so used to watching it in English that that's the only way I experience it. That I'm too much accustomed to it that I don't know if I would be able to watch a Japanese cartoon where the characters are speaking Japanese and I'm not reading it in English. Because I always interpret like dialogue, jokes, and all that stuff in English because that's just how I'm accustomed to it, and I'm not sure that I would be able to have the same enjoyment if I were to read it in Portuguese.
Okay.
But it's almost the same way here in Germany because you have the option of choosing English as your main language for Netflix. But still, every time, at least for me, that's the case. I don't know if it is that way for everybody else too. Whenever I select a new episode, it always goes back to the German dub. And I have to manually reselect English every single time. And sometimes it doesn't even have English when it's a Japanese dub, for example. So I have to rely on the German version too for that one, which sucks because German anime is the worst. And I have yet to see a single anime to convince me otherwise.
I don't really like most of the anime featured in Netflix don't really have any either Portuguese or English dubs. Some do have like Pokemon and Little Witch Academia do have. Oh, and also Brotherhood. They have English dubs, but everything else doesn't have. Like they're all subbed. But they have the worst sub because they're in Portuguese, and I don't know. I don't really like reading subtitles in Portuguese because I'm more accustomed to English.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and give some shout outs for the Netflix shows that I think are enjoyable and should deserve a watch or two. This show no one really mentions, BoJack Horseman. Just kidding, because you just said that. No one's talking about that show. That's a great show. You should check that out. I think it's got like 5 seasons. Dragons, Writers of Berk is a really good animated TV show.
Oh yeah.
I would highly recommend that. Castlevania for you people that want to be more tough and edgy. Like, yeah, I'm tough. I watch people get fucked up in blood.
I want to gush about the animation in Castlevania for a second because that is the best looking show on all of Netflix.
Yes, it looks great. It really does.
But sure, go ahead. Sorry.
I do plan on watching Castlevania because it does look.
It's only 6
stunning.
episodes. You can binge it in like I don't know 3 or 4 hours, I think.
Yeah, I probably will.
And there's 3 more shows I want to give a shout out to. On The Adventures of Puss in Boots. On the surface, it seems like a kind of a stupid idea. You're giving a Shrek side character his own show. But hey, it actually works out pretty.
I don't have a beef with Shrek. I mean,
Puss in
sure,
Boots
like the franchise has been memed to the point where it's really hard to take it seriously. But I don't have any beef with Shrek.
Puss in Boots is a very likable, fun, energetic character that you want to root for. And when you're creating a show, that's very important to have. You want to have a character that you're like, man, I hope they get out of it, instead of, man, I hope that character dies. You don't want that as your main character, aka.
I think it depends.
I ain't gonna say the name of the show. We can all guess what I'm thinking. But Voltron's another good show, and Buddy Thunderstruck. If you kind of like that Robot Chicken kind of vibe to it, it's a very enjoyable show as well. Plus the voice casting and shenanigans they get themselves in throughout the show is really hilarious. Okay, we got the next topic because I think that bird sound's coming up. Oh, there it is. What are the live action shows you enjoyed the most from Nickelodeon?
I think we should go in order here because I have a lot.
I'm gonna skip.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip this question because, well, for starters,
Ario.
I didn't grow up with Nickelodeon, and
okay.
I'm pretty sure that the best sitcoms are from Nickelodeon. The second reason is because I have a hard time watching sitcoms, especially the ones with the freaking multi-camera format that I honestly cannot stand. So yeah, even if I were to watch like some of the more praise shows like Drake and Josh, I probably would still have an issue with the format. So, yeah.
Drake and Josh. That seems like a familiar show.
Okay. I still have to say that I enjoyed iCarly quite a bit. I love Drake and Josh. I love Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
That show is actually pretty decent.
Oh
it gets
my
some
god!
Flack, but compared to its competition, it ain't a bad show.
It's basically a live action cartoon done right.
People forget. People forget. Compared to its competition, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at it on the surface like, oh, this ain't a cartoon. I'm like, it's alright. It's an enjoyable show.
Yeah, it helped me through a lot of bad school days. When I knew that I could always rely on Ned and his bad advice, when he was always just a bit worse in school than me.
Another thing I can appreciate about Ned's Classified School Survival Guide, that it seemed like the characters and the acting, it was done right, and they seemed like they were really into their roles.
Yes, exactly. Except for Mose. Mose sucks.
Yeah, she was just there. Cookie was alright. That janitor dude, he legend.
Oh god, yeah.
He was cool.
And Cookie was the best actor in the show by far. Cookie was overacting all the time, and he seemed like he was stripped right out of like some sort of Ren and Stimpy one-off character, I
kind of like the bully.
There was so many great characters in that show. But then they ruined it by the awful series finale.
So your top three would be what? iCarly, Drake and Josh, and Ned's Classified. That's your top three.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
That probably be a Zoe 101 at number 4. So was that So Raven Nickelodeon too?
That was a Disney Channel.
Okay.
I would talk about Disney Channel. If we're going to talk about Disney Channel, I do have a list. My favorite is Andy Mack.
Mm-hmm.
My second favorite is Girl Meets World. Now, as for my third, this is pretty hard because I have to revisit certain shows that I haven't watched in freaking years. So
see if it holds up.
Yeah, so it's either Wizards of Waverly Place, one of the Zack and Cody shows. One of them I did like.
On Deck.
I think it was On Deck. On Deck was the one that had Bailey, so yeah, I actually did like that version. Although I only saw like the first season, so I don't know what happened afterwards.
That was the one
but yeah, it's probably one of those two shows. But I have to revisit them because I can't tell if they hold up. I really can't.
True.
Okay.
But based off past experience, you would say probably those are some you enjoyed. Hey, and that's all that matters. Sometimes the show.
I guess I also liked the fourth season of Hannah Montana. I thought it was the only one that I just kind of noticed like a drastic improvement in the production and also a little bit of the writing. So. And it was also shorter, seasons? So yeah, it had 4.
Wow.
Like the previous 3 seasons were like 26 episodes long, and I think the third had like 40 episodes. Wow. But the fourth one had like 13, so it's probably why you may have forgotten because it was shorter than usual.
I think
they also missed.
I'm not sure about this, but it might not even have aired in Germany.
Oh,
but I'm not sure about this.
I'm giving a shout out to Even Stevens.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there you go, Shallow LaBeouf. Yeah, Transformers. We got you. Before you were
also,
Coke dealer,
I think it's also important to keep in mind that I'm only specifically talking about the fourth season. I'm pretty sure that the first 3 ones are kind of bland. Like last year I saw one of them and I just noticed how much they really suck. But I'm confident that the fourth isn't as bad and it's probably decent. I trust myself enough to say that it's decent. But the rest of the other seasons they suck.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. I'll go back to what Dan said, kinda. We're going back to the Nickelodeon thing since that was this question. My three would be very similar to Cosmos. I got Ned's Classified, I got Drake and Josh. And for my third, I got Zoe 101 because when I was watching it back then, I really enjoyed it. But when I rewatched it about like 2 or 3 years ago, it was aight. But I'm like, I didn't want to sit down and finish watching it, so I guess that means I didn't enjoy it that much. But when when it was on and I was 15ish, I was like, this show's pretty aight, and I would actually enjoy the whole episode. Wow. So that's all I could ask for before turning the television on. Oh. All right, what kind of music do you people listen to?
Oh, various different genres. I listen to a lot of alternative music lately because I rely heavily on my Spotify Discover Weekly because I think it is a very useful tool, or at least it has been for the past 6 months or so. So I always listen to whatever is new in the alternative genre.
We don't need Pandora.
Okay, before I give my answer, let me just state that I like music. Like, whenever I listen to music, I enjoy myself. But in general, I do not listen to it. I don't have time to listen to music. Like, I don't have time to check my phone, open either Spotify or SoundCloud, especially YouTube, because you can't close
the screen.
Yeah, the screen without the video stopping. So yeah, I really do not have time to listen to music. Most of the time, I watch shows, I watch movies, I watch YouTube videos. Like, even when I'm doing something else, like for say, washing the dishes or walking to school, instead of listening to music, I'll probably just listen to a podcast. So there's really not a moment in my life where I have time to listen to music. And it's not even because I have an issue with it. I do like music. Like, whenever I listen to it, like, let's say I'm watching a movie and I listen to the soundtrack, I really enjoy myself. Like, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, one of the biggest strengths of those movies is the soundtrack. Like, I like Spider-Man 3 specifically because of the soundtrack. Everything else I have mixed opinions, but I do still like the soundtrack. So yeah, I do value music. I just don't value it enough to listen to it all the time.
All right, It's about my turn, you know. I'm giving out generic answers. I love the Foo Fighters, Breaking Benjamin. We got Green Day up in the old school Green Day, not that new shit. That shit sucks on that Transformers. We got Red. That's a pretty good rock Christian band. Skillet. Skillet's pretty alright.
Wait a minute, just so we're clear, rock Christian bands are the ones that are pretty much gospel but rock.
Kinda, like Red. If you
it's funny because my brother listens to it a lot, so it would be kind of funny if you guys listen to the same bands because I think they're kind of obscure.
Red and Breaking Benjamin. I try to be obscurity at its finest, decently. But yeah, a lot of stuff I listen to. Like, I listen to not acoustic. What the hell am I talking about? I want to hear that beat. Basically alternative rock. You know, what's that Daft Punk kind of music that
like electronic music.
I like some electronic kind of music.
I like dubstep. Like, I was really into dubstep
sometimes. And I've been listening to a lot more R&B lately. I've been listening to like Kendrick Lamar and 2 Chainz, stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty relaxing for some odd reason. I don't know.
Those are some pretty good choices, guys.
Pretty crazy. All right, now for this segment of the show, we're all gonna go around and give a positive thing about each other's content. We're all gonna say a nice thing that comes from the heart about each other's content.
Welcome to the Anonymous Alcoholics podcast.
This is gonna come straight from the heart, people. Just be yourself, and we're gonna let Dan go first.
Okay, so who's gonna start?
I said you first.
Okay.
One positive thing I'll say about Dan, he listens really well.
It's gonna be really funny when people replay this podcast. First one to start is Dan. Who starts?
I like Cosmos content because whenever I see the videos he's covering, I always get the impression that they feel inspired. Unlike a lot of channels where I feel like they're just kind of seeking what would benefit them in terms of views. For instance, I saw this video where he was talking about this anime that's about a girl eating ramen, and I'm like, would anyone do this video? This is
I know who you're talking about.
And I don't know, like when I watched that video, I'm like, oh my god, like this is very unique. Like I would probably not see a video like this anywhere else. Like someone willing to make a video about this show about this girl who likes eating ramen. And yeah,
He had a fetish.
No, I don't really want to talk about the show itself. I want to talk about the video. So yeah, I like the video because of it. And another example is
fetishes and
actually, this is a very weird example, but whatever. It's more or less the same thing. It was when he made the video on the Teen Titans Go movie. Now, this is related to something I said before, that a lot of people are beginning to see the Teen Titans Go movie a bit more positively. And I feel like Cosmodore wasn't really trying to do that. Like, he was just sharing his honest opinion, and he just thought that the trailer wasn't really that good, and the fart joke was just kind of dumb. And whenever I would see people talking about the trailer, it would always come across the same way, like people having this mindset where they expect people to have an outrage, so they have to be as mellow as possible. But I didn't see that with Cosmodore. He was just being honest, and yeah, I did appreciate about that more. And I do also think that his production is very, like, among the same level of Saber Spark, which is impressive for a channel that's only like a couple of months long. So, yeah. I guess that's all I have to say.
Cosmo, are you the ramen person? Did you upload that ramen video?
I am the ramen person. Did you not know that?
there was another person that stole your idea.
What?
We're gonna get this fool. Someone else stole your idea. He was doing.
Are you serious? Did someone else cover that show?
Yeah, he did a video.
Because I thought that was pretty obscure.
It was. I wonder where he probably got the idea from you. Coincidence.
I think not. But it doesn't really matter because I think
the link to the person that accidentally ripped off Cosmo will be in the description. Yeah.
Okay. So as for Enjoyyy, I do like how
I hate that dude.
You try to cover more obscure cartoons. I mean, when I say obscure, like, I mean relatively speaking, because a lot of the cartoons he covers, I'm very much familiar with it because I know all of the cartoons from the 2000s, but relatively speaking, at least among the cartoon community, they're pretty obscure. So yeah, I do also like that. And you also try to upload these like Sonic related stuff that's not really something I see so often. So yeah, I can at least say that whenever I enter Enjoyyy and I see these Sonic related videos that are sort of like YouTube poops, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching a video from Enjoyyy, so it adds this level of identity. You know what I mean?
I love doing Sonic videos.
It's just funny because I'm not even really into Sonic. Like, I've never played the games. I mean, okay, I did, but I don't know what was the name of the title, and it was only during like IT classes because my teacher would sometimes let us play video games that were there, and one of them was Sonic. But aside from that, my experience with Sonic is very small. I guess I also watched the Set AM cartoon, and I also like Sonic Boom, but I'm not really that into Sonic.
Right. Well, Dan, since you got to go first and I put you on the spot, you get to choose who goes next.
You.
Corey
yes.
in the house. Corey in the house.
Corey next.
That is a great anime, by the way. But let's get to the point. Twisted Dan's. I found his channel because of that. I think it was on that. Oh, the Big Bang Theory. Did you review the Big Bang Theory?
I think that's the earliest video there. That's how you found me?
I think so, yeah. I hate the Big Bang Theory. Why would I find you with that video? What a troll! I hate you, YouTube bastards. I don't even
That
like
video is terrible.
Theory.
Like, it's the first video. It's not even the first video I've ever uploaded.
But I went to your channel and I saw your new stuff. And I thought, this dude's pretty cool. He gives his point. Wait, no. I found your video because it was on the cartoon community. There you go. That's a little better. That video kind of had a little more.
Oh, okay. I don't like the I don't like the audio in that video, but I would much rather people discover me from that video than the video I made on the Big Bang Theory. Which none of the opinions there even hold up to begin with. Like at least I still. At least I still stand by everything I said in that video I made on those cartoon reviewers, but the video I made on the Big Bang Theory, I don't feel the same way. Like, at the time, I was actually a fan of the Big Bang Theory, and while I don't hate it, I'm definitely not as into the show as I used to be before, so, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I found you through that. I'm not going to go into the video and all that stuff. I found you through what you think of the cartoon community. Then I went to go watch one of your latest videos. And I liked the fact that you gave your opinions and you stood your ground and you were pretty, pretty confident about what you were saying. And you didn't really take the high road or popular demand of what people were all saying. You told it like it is. You weren't really trying to gain a, you weren't trying to catch lightning in a bottle. You were just spewing your thoughts, and I thought it was very enjoyable to listen to. It was very refreshing. Your content is refreshing. I found Cosmodore's videos. It might have been a SpongeBob video. What are the odds?
Huh.
Hold on. I think I know how you discovered him.
What?
I'm taking a wild guess. Cosmo made a video where he was praising some cartoon reviewers, and he mildly mentioned you there. So it's good. Probably how you discovered him?
Nah. I think it was the worst to best SpongeBob episodes, season 1 to 3. But I never left a comment because I'm lazy as hell. I'm lazy. I'm terrible.
One thing I wanted to say about that cartoon reviewer video, I wanted to include some more channels I didn't initially put into that list. It wasn't because I didn't think that those reviewers were bad or anything. For example, I didn't put in Pie Guy Rules, even though I like his videos, not all of them, but I watched him a couple of times. And I wanted to include Noah David too. And I'd probably include you two as well. I just didn't know about your stuff back then, to be honest. So I will do a second version of that list at some point. That was all I had to say about that.
You good, man? I'd be a surprise. Like you said, we're still new to the scene. We're trying to find our niche.
Yeah.
But I found it because I actually like SpongeBob. Besides season, 8 through 12. Yeah, we know why those seasons were. Yeah, we know why. Somebody left. He came back. The day is saved. All right. Pretty much that's the scenario. But yeah, I enjoyed the video. I like people with different accents. You know what I mean? It seemed like a lot of people that were reviewing cartoons was this white, nerdy kind of sounding voice like, hey, everybody, today I'm going to talk about Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I'm like, I don't even care, man. That shit old as fuck. I'm going to find a new video. But I enjoyed your passion. I can tell you're passionate. I can still tell you're trying to get the kinks worked out, the audio and everything. But, that comes with time. You know what I mean? Because everybody's got to start with some kind of mic before they, start to find what they really, how they want to do their editing and everything. The sound is some of the hardest parts to fix sometimes in doing a video editing. But I enjoyed the content. It was enjoyable. It made time fly by. I was watching random videos in class during college because, I'm good at math, so I don't need to pay attention to the teacher. And I enjoyed the content, so I decided to subscribe, and I checked out more of your videos. And that's when I found that other content thingy about the cartoon reviewers thing. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let me see who he's talking about. And then I saw my dude in there, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me leave that comment. Because there was more initiative involved for that comment to happen, I guess. Like, this dude actually threw me in this video. I gotta leave a comment.
I was actually surprised to have you comment on my video because I saw you in my recommended feed for the Unikitty video, and I quite enjoyed that one. So That comment made a lot to me.
That.
Meant a lot to me.
Oh, you're good, man. Yeah, I wish I would have took more time on that audio for the Unikitty. I recorded that like 5 minutes before I was leaving to go out for dinner.
Oh, really?
I just recorded it. Yeah, I record my audio like really fast sometimes. I'm trying to take my time with audio now. Don't try to just do it in one take and say, "Yep, done." Maybe it'll take 2 takes or 3. Hopefully not 4.
Thanks for that.
But yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, I'll start off with you, Dan. I discovered you through the cartoon community video as well, actually, and watched through some of your Big Bang Theory videos then, because I have a strong passion against that show, and always have.
Stupid YouTube.
Is he here? I heard some door noises.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Okay.
Someone opened the door, so very professional podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it is the first episode, so it isn't that bad.
I've heard worse.
Yeah. And I like that you don't filter your opinions, that you don't really care about whether people would subscribe to you based on the things you say. They mostly are topics I would be interested in about hearing, you know, and like I said, I enjoy hearing different thoughts on shows, even though I might not agree with them, but you present them in such a way that I can see where you're coming from, and that I think I can enjoy most about your content, that you don't try to convince the viewer of your own opinion or force it onto them, but rather get it out there in a way that makes sense and doesn't feel as though you're trying to bash on the show just for the sake of bashing it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was another thing I wanted to say about you, Dan. You make things easier to understand.
Oh yeah.
You put things into good context.
You know, I find that to be really funny because sometimes I think that I don't explain myself well because I constantly get comments where people misrepresent me. Like, they clearly misinterpret a couple of points I made, and I'm not sure if the problem is with me or them, but I don't know, like, I guess if you guys say that it's easier to understand my perspective, then I don't know, I guess I can put the blame on them.
Yeah. No, the YouTube comment section can be pretty bad.
That's something I want to get better at, being able to explain stuff a little better, because I have very of a risque kind of, I toss out a lot of slang words all the time. What the fuck is this dude talking about? But some people enjoy that, you know.
Yeah, well, I do appreciate that you guys feel that way, because honestly, I don't think I ever noticed that. Like, I definitely try not to enforce my opinions on others, because I'm a person who doesn't really agree to the idea that there's an objective opinion. I strongly believe that every opinion that someone has on a show is entirely subjective, and the idea that there's an objectively good show is just an illusion. So I do try to run with that mindset, and instead of trying to convince everyone that I'm right, I instead try to convince people that, you know, there's a different opinion aside from, you know, the fact that a show like Villainous is good when I just think it's average, you know. So yeah. And they're not wrong for liking it. Like, I understand why. I mean, I might joke that I don't understand, but I actually do understand.
Well, it's kind of overhyped, though. People act like, oh my god, this is the most original plot ever. I'm like, you guys chill out. I mean, what about this Grim and Evil?
Okay, I think I'm gonna move on to you, Corey. Because I can't scream that loud right now because I still have neighbors.
Damn, those neighbors.
Anyway, like I said, your comment meant a lot to me because when I first saw your content, I always love when channels are presented in a way that makes me want to keep watching, so that the thumbnails are designed in a way where I want to click the next and the next, where it's easy to binge watch. And I don't know, I like the presentation of your channel and videos, and again, how you're honest with your videos, that you it comes off as spontaneous but still well thought out, And it just has a cool atmosphere. Every video has a cool atmosphere. That's the best way to describe it, I think.
Kind of like a controlled chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. I try to do that. I try to write a script, but not always go by the script, but just kind of use it as a footnote.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, I try to do that. I appreciate that, man. All right, that is everybody. And for the last thing that we're going to talk about, what are your last thoughts on the podcast? How do you think this podcast went? Did you enjoy being on the podcast?
I'm very concerned about my audio, but aside from that, I actually did enjoy.
I'm surprised if anyone listens to this.
Hey, yeah, you never know, man. Sometimes when people are playing video games, they want to have some audio in the background.
That's true. That's true.
There you go. I don't expect someone staring at the freaking computer screen listening to this the whole time. But hey, if they do, we appreciate that very much.
Thanks for listening.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't I don't really expect this podcast to blow up. I'm just really expecting this to amuse at least someone.
Yeah, I mean, there was some quite interesting discussion to be had here. Some characters we didn't agree on, some shows we didn't agree on, but it was a fun ride, didn't you think so?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's really just
it's been a good day in the neighborhood.
It's really just us expressing our opinions, even if some are factually incorrect. Like Cheese is a terrible character.
Yeah,
that is objectively wrong. I know I said there is no such thing as objectivity, but this is the only exception. Cheese is the greatest Cheese is the best Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends character, and the fact that there's someone who hates him baffles me.
You can search Cheese on the Wikipedia page. It says an annoying character that was created by Lauren Faust for the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends TV show. Thank you, Wikipedia. You never lie to me. You look like a fool.
That was Lawrence Faust's best episode.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for joining this podcast. We're going to try to be back next week on Monday. If nobody dies or gets in a car accident or just, I don't know, loses their computer. Because that's a possibility as well. Watch out for viruses. Remember to
They'll probably die.
Download your anti-spyware. I would like to recommend Norton. Antivirus spyware. Norton, the best anti-spyware. That's all I could get for it. That's what it says on the package.
Oh, and I have a last video recommendation for the day. If you're into Steam Tams memes, because I can't get over those right now, go and watch Steam Tams, but Chalmers is obsessively investigative, because that was the most fun I had with the YouTube video all week.
We're going to put a link to it in the description. And this has been Corey, and your names are?
I'm Cosmo.
Dan.
I'm Twisted Dance, and I have the word twisted because I'm edgy.
I have the word door because you better leave through the door if you're watching my videos.
Yeah. I don't want to laugh at that, but it was funny. But I'm Corey, and I'm the best anime ever character, because Corey in the House is a cult phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll see you guys next time. This has been the Cartoon X-Verse Podcast. Now, give it up for The Beats with the song Shout Your Lungs Out. Now, play us out, boys.
You gotta whistle, gotta roll, gotta scream, gotta stomp, gotta shout your lungs out.